Hey everyone, Zach Stevens here. I'm gonna try to do my best and take all the points that really impacted me from the book and put it into a 5 minute clip. But some of the things that one of the things that really pointed out to me in this book was when in chapter 6 when it's talking about modeling over the long haul. It's realizing that just what it says, some nuts are hard to crack. And it's, when we're talking about our evangelistic styles and when we're in ministry, sometimes it's it's really frustrating to not see those fruits that we're trying to implant are into people blossom. And it's just realizing that some people, the reason why they are harder than others is because their hearts have been hardened. Maybe their hearts have been hardened towards Christianity specifically because of they've seen hypocrisy or they've seen it as religious mumbo jumbo or something. But the fact is that when we're reaching these people, it's not just about speaking to them. It's realizing that it's about prayer and consistency in our lives with how what Jesus would see us live our lives. It's Jesus wants us to live our lives in love, and I think that when people begin to see that consistency in our lives, that they begin to really see what Christianity is all about, and they begin to open their hearts to actually be affected by what God wants for them. You see, I'm a youth director, and every Tuesday night I speak, and there are some nights where I have to realize that maybe only 10% of the students are really going to be affected that night, that they're going to take it and apply that night's word to their hearts. But with the other ones, it's the fact that I'm being consistent with what I say in the actions that I do in life, and it might take years for them to come around and see that consistency. But when they see that consistency and they see that I'm not going to change, that I'm always going to be there, that I'm always going to love, it's when things that they might have completely forgotten that I've actually talked about will just be brought up, and it will begin to blossom at that time. So it might take years for some people, but God has a timing for everybody, and sometimes we get distracted on the fact that we think we want that timing to be now. The second thing that really pointed out to me when I was reading was in chapter 8 when I was talking about contagious consumerism, and specifically going out and using our evangelistic style out in public. And one thing in the past that really brought to mind was when a few of us at one point went out and to a fast food joint, and we bought food for people and in back of us. We didn't tell anybody what we were doing or who we were except for the cashier. We didn't want them to know because frankly, it wasn't about using our words. It was about showing our love. What we didn't realize we were doing at the exact same time that we were affecting the lives of the people in back of us is that we were affecting the lives of the people, of the cashiers in front of us as well. That we consistently went to that same restaurant over a period of a few days, and they began to realize and start to question what we were doing, and that's when we were actually effectively able to talk to them about love and everything. So, and it's again that consistency of just being faithful to who God called us to be in that love. Then the third thing, the last thing that really stood out to me, and it's probably completely obvious to all of you, but in chapter 9 when it talks about our testimonial approaches, and mine specifically, I see myself in a few of them, but as you can tell, mine is probably testimonial approach. That I like to use my testimonies when I'm speaking to people. But the good thing about our testimonies is that we all have one. We each have one. And so no matter what style you are, you have a testimony, and that's a testimony that doesn't need to be learned. It's just a testimony that you already know. You already know who you are, and we can use that no matter what style we are, as a sub style, as a subcategory in talking with people, whether you're direct or testimonial or anything. And it's I really encourage people to recognize who or recognize how God impacted their own lives so that they can practice it and explain it on a regular basis. That way, we always got something in our back pocket, and that way, people can always be affected by a testimony. And since we all have one, we might as well use it. And so I guess those were the three things that really popped out to me in this reading. But loved it, and really looking forward to more. So thank you.